righty, then. I think we are ready to go.
Hammer down.
Alrighty, let's get on with it. We have just started the live stream for anybody who's wanting to watch on YouTube. As a reminder, the Rabbit Hole Net takes place every other Sunday, with early check-ins being at 7 p.m. and the net beginning at 7:30. On the Rabbit Hole Net, we discuss all things prepping. We're operating from the new Studio D on the North Georgia GMRS network, and you can participate from any North Georgia linked repeater and Zello. Our repeaters are as follows.
Flagship, Noonan, Peachtree, Watkinsville, Buckhead, Jersey, McDonough, Blue Ridge, Toccoa, Columbus, Lula, Zebulon, Rome, Dallas, Ocala, Lookout Mountain, Fort Mountain, White Oak Mountain, Ottawa, Mount Roosevelt, Georgetown, and our VOYP Zello link.
The North Georgia GMRS network covers roughly 41,000 square miles and growing. It is because of all the members that make it the largest linked repeater system in the United States. We like to be nice here on the Rabbit Hole Net, so no cursing or politics. This is a family-oriented network, and we encourage you to get your family involved. On the following week, after each Rabbit Hole Net, a short video or a message will be posted on the North Georgia GMRS Facebook page to let you know what the next topic will be. If you have any questions or suggestions, please email us to rabbithole@nggmrs.org. Let me break. We will begin taking regular check-ins at this time. Please do so with your FCC call sign, your tactical unit number, your name, and general location. Again, if you're tuning in and you don't yet have a membership TAC number, feel free to participate just using your FCC call sign. Net Control standing by. Okay. Richard Cranium. Net Control standing by for check-ins. This may be all.
Maybe.
All right, well, shall we start?
This is McDonough 77, WSD Decker 921. I'll be checking in and out.
Never fails, right when you're about to
I
say.
know, I almost hit the pedal.
I want to go ahead and acknowledge him.
Okay.
There we go. At McDonough 77, Nathan and McDonough is in and out. Thank you for hanging out with us. Net Control standing by for check-ins. We're not early anymore. Did I call? Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Chat, Ed.
This is
Lost that one. Hold on, let me grab him.
Yeah.
So we didn't get your TAC number. Of course, the network dropped right as you were giving your TAC number. Can you come back with a TAC number again? And Atlanta 557, Ed, yes, sir, we did get you in there. Last station, what's your TAC number?
Hey, this is McDonough I think he was CW 42.
Thank you, Nathan.
CW 40.
CW40.
All right, thank you. We got CW40 now, Robert and Nicholson. Thank you. Nick Control standing by for check-ins.
This is Atlanta 1118 WSE 258 checking in and out.
Atlanta 11.
1118.
Eleven 18. 11 was
Check to make sure. Just
WSFL Atlanta 126.
1126. Go ahead and acknowledge and make sure that Doug, I think it's Doug, 1118.
Okay, here we go. All right. Well, let's acknowledge the last two we have so far. Well, we'll do CW40, Robert and Nicholson. Got that one. And then we had Atlanta 1118, Doug and Alpharetta. If that is not correct, come back. And then we had Atlanta 1126, Joseph and Snellville. If you did not hear your tech number, come back to me and I will adjust the log. Net control standing by.
CW 43, the Darren 465 said, well, checking in and checking out. WSH 6, case code 24, checking.
24. I believe you said checking in.
Yep.
WR AK69 784, we're checking in and out.
Check at 84.
Sorry, I'm answering.
Was he in and out? Dave?
That's all right. Just leave them there if we need to.
Okay.
Doop, doop, doo. All right.
I think that's about it.
Here we go. We acknowledge those guys.
Phil Radio, 157 feet closer to available at the number 4.
And
Colorado store. Now, the store is at the great social market. Personal public representative. With fire and execution of sexual risk.
All right. Going to go ahead and acknowledge K24, Michael in Sevierville, Tennessee. Hey, where the knife shop is. Then we have Chat 84, Jim and Hickson is in with us tonight. You cut out right there, you know, but no worries. Like I said before, if we call on you and you're in and out, we will adjust the log. So no worries. All right. I think it's about time to kick this thing off. And you'll have to forgive me if you're watching YouTube, since we have new monitors sitting here.
we're sitting across from each other, so if
But there's monitors
It
blocking
looks
us.
like
So
he's stretching his neck. It's because he is.
I'm trying to make eye contact here. It's a little different than what we
Well,
was.
we don't really need to. 'Cause we
No,
have a monitor there, so.
So what we did was we took our spare bedroom and turned it into a studio, which meant where we were side by side, very close, scooting into each other, bumping into each other. So now we are 6 feet apart.
This is much better.
we have more room than we know what to do with. So just wanted to give you a little heads up of what's going on. If you see us chicken heading around a little bit, that's why. All right.
So tonight we're talking about canning. So there's two different ways. There's water bath and pressure canning. Water bath, I've said before, but you know, there's no other way to say it other than the way that it is water bath is for high acidic foods and pressure canning is for low acidic foods. Some examples of higher acidic foods are fruits, pickles, relishes, jams and jellies, marmalades, sauerkraut, salsa. Some examples of low acidic foods, which require the pressure canner: most vegetables, all meats, including seafoods, stocks and broths, soups, and dairy products. For some of you listening or watching the live stream, you may already know about canning and the difference between water bath and pressure. However, I do like to revisit the topic for newcomers to the network that might be interested in beginning canning. So for most people, including myself, it can be intimidating when you're first starting out, especially with the pressure canner. But let's start with a water bath. Basically, it's just a big pot with a rack inside and a lid. There's no other components to it, just a very simple thing. This is, as I said, used for high acidic foods. Let me break. Okay, so now what I'm about to say is going to be a little redundant, but I've said this before and I will continue to say it because it could mean the difference between you enjoying what you've canned or booking yourself a room at the hospital. So there are videos out there that are blatantly saying that you can water bath anything. Please do not fall for that. This is absolutely false. I want to direct you to a fairly old video from June of 2022. The channel is called, you've heard me say, Rose Red Homestead. For the people that are not watching YouTube right now, you can look her up later by just going to YouTube and typing into the search bar, Rose Red Homestead, water bath, everything in 3 hours. That's what the video is called. You can't miss her. She's very sweet. She has short, curly red hair. She talks about the relationship between temperature and time. At a certain temperature, you also have to have the appropriate time in order to kill the botulism spore. If you lower the temperature, you have to increase the time. If you decrease the time, you have to raise the temperature. But anyway, I'll put the link in the chat so that you can watch her video. She's basically my canning guru. The point I'm making is that water bathing everything is not the way to do things. Let me break. So now on to the pressure canner. This is where people get scared. Older canners are what gives the intimidation vibe, but the new canners are much safer because they have what's called the overpressure plug in the lid. So this is a big if the canner were to come to pressure that's too high, the overpressure plug will simply pop out of the lid. And yes, you'll have some hot steam billowing from the lid, but the canner will not blow up.
So if you've got your grandmother's canner, you may want to check it to make sure it is a modern version with the pop-off.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. So you'll just basically you'll have a mess to clean up, but after the canner has cooled down enough for you to handle, you can clean the mess up, and you will have to restart the batch, but that's just the way it goes. On that note, I'd recommend if you buy a canner, get a replacement pressure plug just in case, just to have on hand. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try out this new program, and I'm going to try and show you the canning. I'm going to show you a canning chart here. Let's see, where am I at? Let's see. Okay, there we go. I am going to move this over. Give me 1 second. Let me break. Because I've got to figure this out. I've got to reduce the log here. Okay. And I don't have my YouTube pulled up, so I can't.
I do. It's on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I'm actually watching the channel to confirm.
Oh, okay. Good. So anybody that's in the chat, if you could just do a thumbs up or something to let me know that you can see this picture. I don't have it pulled up, but I can. I should have had it pulled up earlier, but, you know,
Randall's, he's got it, so.
Randall does.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, now I can see it, it's pulled up, but I do need to manage the chat, so
All right, here we go. We're gonna pedal.
I should have had it pulled up earlier, but.
No, Randall's, he's got
Okay.
it, so.
Alright.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn my volume down here just a second. Let me break.
All right.
Okay, now I can see it, it's pulled up, but I do need to. Because I don't have my.
All right,
my
here we go.
app
We're gonna
here.
pedal.
I should have had it pulled up earlier, but I gotta turn the volume down and I don't know how.
Randall's, he's got it. So that chart you put up right there. So that chart you put up right there.
Volume down.
Um,
Just a second. Let me break.
It is showing canning at high altitudes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got the volume down now, so. All right, let me make this a little bit bigger. So what I wanted to show you is the, in other words, when you are at a higher level, when you're pressure canning, you're gonna have to use more pounds per pressure. But at the top of it, it's at the, well, kind of in the middle. The water bath is, 1,001 feet to 3,000 feet. Now these are just times. These it has nothing to do with pounds per pressure. This is water bath. The you would this just an example. So 5 minutes would be your timing. 3,001 to 6,000 feet would be 10 minutes. 6,001 to 8,000 feet would be 15 minutes, and so on. It goes up 5 minutes. So the pressure canner, as you can see there, 1,001 to 2,000 feet, or excuse me, sea level to 1,000 feet is 10 pounds of pressure, and the rest of it, as you can see, is 15 pounds of pressure. So let me get back to my script. So yeah, that's just an example there of
What your altitude is and
what your altitude and your timing and pounds per pressure. So let's see. But keep in mind when you're looking at that chart, like I said, with let's say you find a canning recipe that you want to try and it calls for 10 pounds of pressure for 75 minutes. You do have to, like I said, you've got to be aware of your elevation, because 10 pounds of pressure is from sea level to 1,000 feet. Anything higher than that is recommended that you use 15 pounds of pressure. Let me break. Okay, let's see, where am I at? Okay. Okay, so now, obviously the people that are not watching YouTube, I'm going to explain it as best I can. Let me hide the chart. Okay, this right here is this is the Presto pressure canner. This is what we started out with. It has no dial. It's not the Big Bertha, the All-American that we used, and but that's what we started out with. We used that type for 11 years, and as you can see on the left side of the lid, that right there is your overpressure plug. That little black dot that you see on the lid, that's your overpressure plug.
And that canner, we actually purchased it at Walmart.
We did.
And at that time, it was not very expensive. I think we might have paid $65 or $75 for
I
it.
think it was like 70, something like that.
Yep. So
And of course, I mean, that was 11, it was more, but we used it for 11 years.
but
now they're a little bit more than that, but still they're affordable.
It's doable, and you can actually go lay your hands on it instead of ordering it.
Right.
You may need to see if they're in stock or what have you. But the thing about it is it doesn't take a lot of money to get started in doing this.
Mm-mm. No, it doesn't.
It's not like trying to save up money for a freeze dryer.
Right. Yeah.
So sorry, I wanted to interject right there and go, this is where we're at, for basic, simple money, you can get into canning and get rolling on your food preservation.
Yeah. I want to pull up,
Let's reset.
okay, reset.
Alright.
Okay, so that is the Presto canner. Now, you can easily just Google it
Yes.
and look it up that way if you're not watching this on YouTube. This one right here, let's see, where am I? Right there is the one we're using now. And obviously, I'm gonna leave that one up. You can see the difference in the pictures. This one, the All American, it's a thicker metal, so it can handle. It will definitely last a lot longer than the Presto.
So one note that when you go to look for an All-American, make sure you're not getting the one that's for autoclave, which is for sterilizing medical goods and things like that. It is not recommended to can with that
Right.
model.
That's more of a
It's
commercial grade type
for medical.
medical, yeah.
So make sure if you're looking at the All-American, they do, and they look very similar. But make sure you're buying the one that is for canning, not for the medical instrument cleaning. Autoclave. I think I may have said that correctly, but it's for medical
Well, it
cleaning,
sounds right.
cleaning medical instruments. So,
Okay.
uh,
But now you can see on the big All American, the overpressure plug is over towards the back of the picture. You can't really see it, but it is there, and it also has the dial where you can literally see how much pounds of pressure that's in the canner. So it's a big help when you have that dial. So, let's see. I'm gonna take those off, and I'm break. Oh, I took myself off. Okay, so so here's a picture of where did it go? Oh, it's not showing up. Oh, for goodness sake. Well, anyway, it's not one to show up, but it's just a picture of the dial versus the weighted gauge, and you can easily Google that. I don't know why it's not showing up, but there you have that. So, did you have anything you wanted to add, Dave? Okay.
so yes. So for the ones that are not tuning into YouTube, what we're looking at is the model and name brand of the
It
canners.
was behind you. Here
So-
it is. It was behind you.
So the canners that we're talking about, ultimately, she's trying to illustrate what the canners are, because a lot of people are scared of these canners that, oh Lord, they're going to explode on me. The new ones nowadays have all these safety features in place. Now, so the benefit of different canners is the Presto canner. Some of them have a gauge, a dial, or whatever on top of it. The other ones have.
The newer ones do.
They do. The other ones have little weights on top. All Americans mostly have a gauge on them. So the benefit of this is being able to preserve your food. And just trying to run through the canners to let everyone know the different models and different types of what's going on. Ultimately, you're going to just buy a pressure canner. Now, we do trust the Presto brand.
Mhm.
And these are the type that you put on a regular stove, not a glass top
No
stove.
glass top. Now the newer stoves, they say that they can do canners.
Still
on
would
their
not
glass
put one on
tops.
the.
I just don't trust it. I
Still-
just don't.
Still would not. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk to you about the canners and the benefits of canning your own foods. So
Let's break for 1 second. So, recently it's been brought up to me about the pressure cookers. Can you can in a pressure cooker? And my answer to that is you shouldn't. I'm not saying that it can't be done, but when I explained it, the pressure canners are designed for canning. Because of they go for 75 minutes, they can go for 90 minutes. It depends on what you're canning. So, but the pressure cooker is designed to, like for instance, if you make a roast in the oven, it usually takes an hour and a half to 2 hours to do, and maybe sometimes more depending on the size of it. But if you put it in the pressure cooker, you can cut that time in half by 3 times or whatever. So the pressure cooker is designed to cook faster, but with the same result. It's not designed for canning. I hope that makes sense. But what were you saying, Dave?
Well, the main thing is to the reason why you need to start canning. Right now Lisa's trying to talk about the types of canners, the name brands, the safety features, so you don't have to be scared of these things. But again, like we said, for the ones that are not watching YouTube, a simple, couple minutes on Google, you can take a look at these things, and you can see what we're talking about.
Yeah, and you can even look up step-by-step instructions. If you're a visual learner like I am, I just watched videos, lots and lots of videos, and that's how I learned about how not to do things, such as water bathing everything. Now, you can water bath everything, but only if you're going to use up that product very, very soon. Because if it sits in the cupboard for, more than a month, I wouldn't trust it.
Well, we recommend doing the pressure canning because you never know how long you're going to keep these items. You may say, "Oh wow, I want to keep this a little bit longer."
Yeah, but if you're doing this for long-term food storage, like I said, if you're canning meats or dairy or anything like that, you've got to pressure can it, just to be sure. You have to.
So, why would you start canning food?
Well, like I said, long-term food storage, economic collapse, grid down. Because if you have the grid down, you can still do some canning. You can use the what do you call that thing?
So here,
The home stove.
the propane burners,
Yeah, I was trying to think.
like the turkey fryer style.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
here's where we think canning shines overall, is for that exact reason, that if the power goes out, short term, long term, if the power goes out, you can still can with the canner sitting on a propane burner, and we've done it multiple times. And it's one of these Camp Chef dual propane burners. I can't remember. I bought it at Home Depot or Costco or something. But the cool part about that is, so say let's just go with a grid down situation. Say you've taken a deer, some wild game, or something like that. Let me reset. All right, so say you've taken some wild game and you need to preserve this food. Well, doing that, you can do it at the house with the propane burners without no power. That's where this shines. So you can use it without power. So, all right, let's go and see what some of the members have for us.
Yeah,
And
questions and comments.
at the top of the list is Chat260 Colt. Let's see if he's got any questions or comments.
I don't remember if he said in or out.
Colt 260.
Chat.
260 Colt. Reading it wrong. Hey, was you in and out? All right, here we go. All right. Let's see here. Who's next? Atlanta 637 Dave in Kennesaw. Not sure if you were in or out. Let's leave some air and see if you're there, Dave.
I am too.
Can you come back with that one more time?
What's happening?
I don't know. Here we go.
Okay. Go for it.
All right. Moving along. We have Blue Ridge 64.
Side salad.
Side sound. Melissa, do you have any questions or comments about canning, or was you in and out?
I don't have any questions. Couple of comments. I also think that the type of jars that you use, especially with the seals on the lids of the jars, super important. I use ball. It's always worked really well for me. And then my other comment would just be, I know that pressure canners can be scary, but even with the new safety features that they have on the new canning devices, I encourage everybody to inspect their lids before they actually use it. Just make sure that, you know, the plug is still functioning the way that it should, and if it also has the little valve that pops up, that it's able to move freely the entire time to make sure that you don't have any of that excess buildup that could cause an issue. So just make sure you're inspecting really good. The lid of it before you actually begin canning can be helpful too.
That is perfect. Yeah, that little pop-up indicator, if you will,
That
it's
pretty much lets you know that it's up to pressure.
correct. But it can get gunk in it and whatever else, get it clogged. You need to, it's like any other tool, you need to inspect this before you start using it every time.
Also, the vent pipe directly in the middle of the lid, you got to make sure that that's free and clear of debris. And she's right about the jars. You do have to be careful. If you find a really stupid deal on Amazon, and you know, a lot of times those things come from China. I did that one time, and I'll never do it again because I had all of my jars fail except for one. And you know, that's why you do get what you pay for when it comes to jars. And you know, it really is a thing. And you know, Ball or Kerr is you know, two that I recommend.
Well, and the food's expensive. You don't want to waste the
You
food.
don't want to waste, you know, all that food. I mean, if you have a batch that fails, yeah, you can restart the process. I've never really had to do that except for that one time, and it does change the quality of the food when you have to do it twice. So just buy once, try once, you
Right.
know, as Dave says, you know, get the good stuff.
Thank you, Melissa. That is perfect advice right there. And
Yes, it is.
we appreciate that. Man, to get together and have a canning party,
I know some people that want to learn.
right? Next on our list is Dallas 64. Josh in Dallas. Do you have any questions or comments about canning?
Hey guys, Dallas 64. I might be choppy. I'm on 75. I'm just listening in, taking all the information. I don't have anything to add. Thank you.
Okay.
No worries. That's what I figured, but I wanted to call on you anyway, because I did not want to forget you.
Well, we just want to say hello.
So glad to have you along, Josh. Next on our list is chat 1-2, Larry and Crandall. You got any questions or comments about canning, or even what can you can?
Can you can? What can you put in a jar?
Yeah. I hope they're not picking up me slurping my coffee on YouTube here.
They probably are, but it's okay. You did that on purpose.
I do.
I heard that from over here.
It's good.
I think he was in and out.
That's fine. Here we go. All right, we'll go ahead and mark him out of the chat. No worries. Next on our list is Atlanta 374, Lamar and Dawsonville. I know there was a couple of them that may have been in or in and out, but we're calling on you anyway. Atlanta 374, Lamar, are you there? We got any questions and comments about canning? Check YouTube.
I don't see any comments.
It was there.
What was there?
Someone checking in.
Oh, that was Ed a while
No. There was somebody else I just seen on the chat. That was odd. Here we go.
Oh, I see it now.
That's Justin and Julie.
I see.
Here we go.
I got it.
All right. We'll mark them in and out. Atlanta 780, Houston and Austell. You got any questions or comments about canning?
No, sir. No, sir. You got me. With finishing up. No, I'm still using my canner as a popcorn bycard, a peanut board, but
Oh, hey,
we'll
that
get around
works.
to canning one of these days with it.
Well, to be quite honest, that water bath container that we have has been a godsend on doing blanching of the 50 pounds of potatoes that I
Oh, yeah.
go out and buy that goes in the canner. So Houston, I know exactly what you're talking about there. We use these things for a lot of other items too. They're built so robust and tough, and you can do just about anything with them. So, but enjoy that dinner, Houston. And you got any questions later on, you got to get in touch with me. So, next on our list is that was supposed to be marked in and out.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah, no worries. Kate's Cove 24, Michael in Sevierville. Did you have any questions or comments about canning or what you can? I like saying that. Randall, a medical autoclave. Hey, I did say it right.
You did.
Where is the best place to buy your jars? Walmart. Here we go. Michael's not answering. Ready? All right. Kate's Cove 24. Michael, you there?
He may have been in and out.
That's fine. Here we go. All right. Going to go ahead and mark Michael in and out. And I believe the next one is the same. Chat 84, Jim in Hickson. I didn't hear, so I'm going to ask. You got any questions or comments about canning? You can put in a Kroger used to be the best place to buy them, but now they're extremely expensive. All right, here we go.
Comment.
Yeah, I know. Let's see to the list. So, all right. Well, that actually brings us to the end of the list. I didn't figure Jim was in, so you never know. And I heard a comment. Beat me to the punch. Go ahead with your comment, sir, and what's your tech number?
This is Jenny Jujikira. Me about 4 mountain repeaters down. I tossed the net with down, and I switched over to flagship, and I can hear y'all now. Just be about it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate that, Colt. And yeah, if you are listening to the net and your repeater goes silent, scan around. Find another repeater that may be running. And if for some reason you can't find that, go to YouTube. That's where we'll be. YouTube is always a backup that if you can't find us on a repeater that is working, then go from there. And, thank you again for letting us know. So, but it is time for questions, comments, and late check-ins. So, Net Control is going to stand by for comments,
Late check-ins.
Late check-ins.
Comments?
and if not, you're going to force me to ramble. Net Control standing by.
I'd like to break in with a question, please.
Right.
All right. Oh,
Two WR7952. Tim, to stop it. It's just taking in and out. I'm just listening.
22.
yeah, here we go. We get that question.
Okay.
All right. McDonough 2210, we got you marked in and out. Appreciate you hanging out with us. And question, what is your tag number and what is your question?
This is WSGS 735, Noonan 40. How do I locate your YouTube address?
Well, are you on the North Georgia GMRS Facebook page?
Was earlier.
I'll put it in there.
Restus, Noonan 40, are you on the Facebook page? If you are, what we'll do is we'll post a link to the Facebook page for the rabbit hole. And if not, what you'll need to do is you go to YouTube and you can type in the space, just leave a space, rabbit hole, and leave another space, and then you'll find us. It's got a little icon of the rabbit hole logo. And we're actually streaming live right now.
It is called the rabbit hole.
It
But,
is.
I mean, it's kind of a generic name, so just look for the logo and
Yep.
you should be able to find it.
And then once you find us, if you like and subscribe, if you subscribe to it, that way you'll get a notice every time she posts a video. It'll automatically give you, a little icon and says, "Hey, there's something going on. Come check it out." Did that help you out, or did you need a little more information for it?
No, I'm trying to get to it right now. But I appreciate the comment, and I'll keep listening. If I have any other questions, back with you. Appreciate it. This is Noonan 40. Sitting on the side.
All right, thank you, buddy. And if you can find it, happy hunting. Sometimes they are there. And,
I will post it on the North Georgia GMRS Facebook page.
yeah, so, all right. Any more questions, comments?
Well, I
Or
wanted to acknowledge we have
yeah.
Atlanta 946 Justin and Atlanta 947 Julie checking in and out on YouTube.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Well, and then we've got Rome 12 in and out monitoring. So
Okay.
I'll get him in the log. So let's see if anybody's got any questions or comments about canning.
See in and out.
When will the rabbit hole produce a water bath canning video?
Go ahead, Atlanta 255. Jennifer, what you got?
Not much, just monitoring, and I think I missed the check-ins and one bit in and out of the check. I guess as far as questions, what's I think you've already answered it a couple of times, but what kind of canner do you use?
We use the All-American. I call it Big Bertha because it's a double stacker, but it's called the All-American.
So it double stacks the jars in there, so you can do twice as much.
Exactly. You can do so much more with the double stacker, but you know you can also use the single stack. I mean, if you because the double stack, it's roughly 325, something like that. So I mean, for anybody that's wanting to start out, you know, you can always just go with the smaller one just to start out with.
All right, well, I still haven't sprayed getting my canner out this season, but maybe soon. I'll just keep looking and see if I'll get inspired.
Alrighty. Well, you know who to call if you have any questions.
All right. Here we go.
And guess what I'm gonna do? And thank you for that. I'm gonna have to check out your YouTube.
Yeah, come check it out. We're working on a new program, trying to get that figured out. I think it's going to be pretty cool once we hammer out all the little details of it. Canning. So here's the thing. The whole reason why we got started doing canning, or even it started with water bath, was because our garden produced way too much food for us to consume. And then we started giving it away to our neighbors to the point that none of the neighbors wanted the food either. So we couldn't bear to start throwing this stuff away. So what we did, or Lisa did, was try and figure out, hey, how do I store this food? How do I preserve this food? Well, that's when it came up with the water bath. Well, then she figured out, hey, I can't do nothing but acidic stuff with this. So
Yeah, well, that's the best way to start out is the water bath, because it just kind of gets you used to, you know, the timings and things like that. But you know, the pressure canner is a little bit more in depth, but it's really easy once you get started.
you know, but beyond tomatoes and a couple other things, you know, there wasn't much else you could do with it.
Right.
So, let me break. So then that led us to the pressure canner. And then we started pressure canning carrots, peas, potatoes, all the other stuff, except for the tomatoes. And then she started doing some more research and found out that you can can way more than vegetables. And canning the meats, the beef, the chicken, all of that pork, that's where we started
Hmm.
finding out, okay, now this is cool.
You know, and the funny story about that is when I first started canning meat, is I didn't really taste it until like a year after I did the first batch, and I don't know why, because my mind I was wanting to put it away for long term. But then I thought, you know, one day I was like, I have not tasted this, and I don't know why. And I opened up a jar of beef that we did, and that's when I fell in love with it, because there's nothing like it, absolutely nothing like it. There is no chemical kind of background flavor, if you will. You know what's in the jar. All it is meat and salt, and that's all I put in there. And it tasted like a roast, like I just took a roast out of the oven. So you can't beat home canned food. You just can't beat it. There are no preservatives. You know exactly what's in those jars because you're the one that put it in there. So, yeah, I would recommend that to anybody, especially if you find a good deal at the supermarket, you know, and you want to just buy all that they have because you can do it. So, canning is the best way to preserve it.
Yeah, and you know that was the beauty of it. you know, when you're sitting out here testing your stuff and trying your meat, the trying all the stuff you've processed, well, my brain's not working. That's where you're like, okay, this is cool. You know, because you can take the jar, and you can literally eat the food right out of the jar.
Right out of the jar, like if you don't have a way to heat it, you know, you can still just open it up and enjoy it. It
So-
might be cold, but you know, people eat cold pizza all the time, and that's even worse for you. But you know,
Well, it's good. It's prepper food. I mean, you know, you could do that. But another thing too is when we started doing the chicken, it's good, pure homemade chicken broth.
oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah, because what I do is I put the meat in the jar. It's raw. I don't pre-cook it, and when I put it in the jar, I do not add any liquid, no broth, no water, nothing. Just a little bit of salt because when it's processing, it's cooking at the same time, and it creates its own broth inside of the jar. And trust me, you don't want to get rid of that either.
well, let me reset. You know, so another thing too is we've been saying this before, time and time again. You get to control the ingredients.
And that's the best part because you can experiment with different. You don't have to just put a little salt in there. Which, by the way, speaking of salt, I do not use iodized salt, that regular table salt. I do not use that because it is stripped of any kind of mineral that's really supposed to be there. And whatever they do, the process, whatever they do to it, it turns the jar cloudy. Not to say that it ruins the food. It's not going to do that. It just doesn't look as pretty. But what I use is either kosher salt or Himalayan pink or a Celtic gray. Those are good options, but just don't use the just regular table salt. Don't use that because it's no good.
So
Nobody
reasons,
should be eating it anyway.
no. So here's where we were talking about the reasons to can, because you get to control the ingredients, you get to control the quality of the meats that go in there or the vegetables. Because right now we've been seeing some videos of, you know, someone going to a grocery store and spraying pesticide on the vegetables,
Oh yeah.
like a can of Raid, spraying it on the vegetables
Yeah,
in
it
the
must
grocery store.
be like a prank type of thing that's going
Yeah.
around.
So you get to control that if you're growing your own, and if you're canning your own. So just keep that in mind. That's the reason for canning. Another is, you know, you can generate a lot of food quickly with a
Yeah.
canner.
Yeah. I mean, 75 minutes, 90 minutes worth of canning time may seem like a lot, but before you know it, if you're canning 2 or 3 times a week, that's a lot of food.
It is, you know, because you're doing this, you know, these 16-ounce jars. You know, you can separate that into 2 meals, you know, for more people.
Oh, easily. Plus, you know, you can take the cubed beef and not fill the jar with just the beef, but maybe like halfway, and you can add some raw carrots in there, some potatoes, onions, garlic, whatever, and you've got an instant pot roast right there in one jar, in one canning session. It's just really limitless what you can do. Now there are some things that you shouldn't can. For instance, squash.
Rice.
In my opinion, and rice, because it will come out really mushy. It's not going to be desirable. It just doesn't work. There are some things that it's better just to have it fresh, you know. So
But, well, let's see if there's any more questions, comments, or late check-ins. Net control, standing by.
last call.
And we went over.
Did we?
Yep.
Uh-oh. Check 260.
Here we go. 260. Go ahead, Colt.
No.
No, sir. Once we end the rabbit hole, it's kind of like the Thursday night net. We end it and kill the live feed and get ready for Monday morning work.
Doing a heck of a job. It's always fun listening to you. This is Chad, W260OW 494.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. Yeah, I know y'all been doing some pretty good roundtables that I've been paying attention
I've been
to.
listening to those two. Those are
So-
really cool. But it does sound like that. I need to, step up my game and put out some videos to post on my channels.
Yeah. So
This month has been so busy. It's just been so busy. But yeah, we'll get them up. We'll
right.
get them up. And
So-
that is all we have, right?
Yeah, that's all that's on the list. You said it was last call, so
Yeah. Well, I have an early morning. I've got to take her to her doctor's appointment, and we have to be there at 6:45 in the morning, and I'm not a morning person. So
well, it takes a little bit longer for mom to get moving in the morning.
yeah,
But
it does. It does.
And just in case anyone's curious, she is doing well. She will have to do a couple rounds of chemo, but
Yeah, they're doing this as a just in case type of thing, but I think it's more of a this type of thing, money.
right, so
Whatever. I mean,
that's the reason why a lot of
I don't agree with it, but
we have more irons in the fire than we know what to do with. So,
yeah.
all right,
All right, well, this concludes the Rabbit Hole Net. We want to say thank you to all who participated and to those who checked in and out but stuck around to listen to the broadcast. We had a total of 39 check-ins, including myself and Dave. We'll now be returning the repeaters to normal operation. Please allow those who checked in to sign off before beginning any conversations. Thank you again, and as always, invest in precious metals, brass and lead. Good night, everybody. This is Dallas 21, WRKT 728,
and remember to like and subscribe on the YouTube channel.
yes.
It does help the algorithm out where it will put us up in your feed, but also you never know. We may be posting some videos shortly, and if you're not subscribed, you won't get that notification that the video has been posted. So, this is Dallas 20, WRKT 728, and we are clear. Thank you, everyone.
Good night, everybody.